Hey guys, it's a beautiful day down here in South Florida, and we are visiting One Man's Man Cave, which is going to be, it's pretty spectacular. You may recognize this car here, which by the way is still for sale.
Yep.
So anything you see in here, we're going to go ahead. If you, there may be some things in here that the owner of the garage wants to get rid of. If he does, we're going to put his emails. What, London's?
It's the
London's
at yahoo.com, all
so,
lowercase.
yeah. So what we're going to do is we're going to put his email at the bottom, and if there's something where he says, hey, he doesn't want this, or you want, reach out to him. He's got a ton of parts, and while the Rambler is a really awesome car, even sitting here, it looks like it should be something in a car magazine. It really does with the color and the wheels. But he's actually a GTO aficionado. So welcome to another episode of Junkyards and Barn Finds with Sean, and I'm Sean. So tell us who you are and tell us about your fascination with cars.
My name is Jerry London. I used to be a fireman in Yonkers, New York for 27 years. Now I'm retired.
That's not a native Floridian accent?
Oh, no. It's a dialect. But if you need money, call me because I can usually get it.
And he knows a guy.
I know a couple of guys. Anyway, this is my dream garage. It took a little while, and of course, whatever you think you're building, you should always build 10% more. Because this is 30 by 40, which is 1,200 square feet with 14-foot ceilings, but you could always use a little more. If you see, we have a bunch of GTOs. All the cars up there on the wall are cars that I built since about 2004, 2005. We've been going to Daytona for over 30 years.
Now, they're obviously not all Pontiacs. I see a white.
Oh, they're different, yeah.
So you're not just a Pontiac guy,
Oh, no.
but you're more, it looks like GM kind of.
Whatever. I buy what other people quit on.
Okay.
So if you started a project and you've had enough, call me up, and 9 times out of 10, I'll take it. Right now, like I said, we're very heavy into GTOs. I have a ton of GTO stuff. Most of the stuff you see is for cars. But if you need chrome or you need original carburetors.
Well, like one of the things we were just talking, because we talked a little bit off camera, was for the brake system.
Yeah, you're right. I upgrade all the cars. I'll lift one up in a little while for you. But I have boosters. Everything works. I have single jelly jars, brand new stuff that people buy, but something that I won't use in a car because I'm not putting drum brakes on the front of a car. I have drum brakes on the side. I have A-arms. I have.
So, because you make your cars to be kind of driven, to bring them up to a drivability.
To be reliably driven and reliably stopped.
Right.
So 4-wheel disc brakes on almost everything, or at least front-wheel disc brakes. Every bushing, every bolt, all new plumbing. The GTO that's in the body shop that you won't see unless we go there, that one is going to be fuel-injected tri-power.
Well, actually, I'm probably going to head over from here to there just to do a quick update on his Camaro.
Right,
so
well,
when I'm there,
it's not at Remos.
Oh, it's not. Okay. I was going to say I didn't know if it's at that.
Tom has no time for me.
Oh, okay.
I wish he did. Okay, so we have motors that are ready to go. This is a period correct 1965 with all the bells and whistles. The other thing we do is we'll only go 30 over on a car.
Oh, I love this, by the way. No stuff inside. You do need to write things like that so you remember.
Yeah, you don't want to reuse it, you know. So the guy who builds my motors, wants anything over 30 over, we just toss the block because the cars will overheat and they just won't be reliable. We keep body panels, steel, whatever, consoles, wiring harnesses. I keep. This is front lights.
Oh, okay.
Not to have one, but I have 8.
I was trying to figure out. I'm like, what are those things?
If you need
dashboards. So okay.
You need tail lights. I think I have 2, 4, 6, 8 besides the ones I need. So I mean, some things I will sell dashboards.
Right.
I have an AC dash I'll never use. we put in AC and everything, but the aftermarket AC looks so much better than the other AC.
Yeah.
So this is all the parts. I keep all the
Even
old
nice.
wiring.
You get consoles and all kinds of
Consoles,
stuff here.
Interiors.
Wow, new outside,
Speedometers,
everything.
tons of chrome.
Interior parts.
Dash parts. I don't have one. I have 10. You know.
So if you're somebody who's the GTOs and you're like, I need that one part I haven't been able to find somewhere.
Yeah, give me a call. Emblems, you know.
And if you don't know where it is, you may, or if you don't have one, you may know where
tons
they
of
are.
emblems, but the problem is, of course, if you restore a car, as much as you want to use a nice emblem like this, you can't.
Yeah.
Give me a second. I do
Okay.
amazing.
Oh.
All right, talk to you later. We have original transmissions. You ready?
Yep. Whenever.
We have original transmissions. We have two. I have more than that, but everything gets rebuilt. Flywheels.
Now, do you rebuild the stuff and then put it on the shelf, or do you wait till you need it and then rebuild?
One is that one was rebuilt. The
Okay.
2-speed GTO. It has heavier clutches. These are ready to go to get rebuilt. There's
okay.
one waiting for the next car.
So do you buy like just like if you find an old one, you'll just like a one for parts, you just buy it and then strip it down, or how do you or is this just accumulation from just doing cars over cars?
We bought two in Georgia.
Okay.
With Georgia, there came a ton of parts. And
Okay.
my lovely bride was with me, and I was ready to go get a trailer, and we had the two cars dragged back. But I was going to get a trailer and take everything this guy had,
Right.
and she put her foot down, so he only could take as much as would fit in the truck. And then I got another call about a guy in Punta Gorda who had this GTO,
The one's up there.
and he wanted out, and he had a ton of stuff. So I went up there with 3 trucks this time, and a trailer, and we took everything he had. So I have glass, I have window regulators.
So it's not just the stuff that's here. You have it all over.
I have more stuff. Inside all the cars are doors, trunks. The finished interiors are going back in cars. They've all been redone.
Oh, okay.
But I have seats with tracks ready to go. You need a pulley. What do you need? And then I have other crazy things that
Well, you said this is like this part's brand new,
This is brand new. Okay, so
and you're never going to use
if
it.
you have a drum brake car front and rear, I have brand new stuff if you want. It's all GM code matching. I also have the proportioning valves for the disc brakes that are brand new. So I have many of these. Once again, I will never use them. I know period correct guys. You want them? Give me a call.
Yeah.
I'll be more than happy.
And you Pontiac guys, between you guys and the Mopar guys, I know you guys are always pointing out everything that I do wrong, which is fine because I do a lot wrong. Like I do you have no idea how much I don't know. But that's why I find guys like this that know everything. So
Then I have
you guys will talk the same
original
language.
alternators, power steering pumps. But of course, same thing with the alternators. We won't use the alternator. We'll get you a 100 amp one wire alternator, which is what I put in the cars.
Oh, okay.
So I don't use the original alternators. I have a ton of them. You want them? Give me a call.
There you
I
go.
have a ton of transmissions and motors for the windshield wipers. I have carburetors, original carbs. Once again, I take them off the car. I won't use them.
Yeah.
And
the nice thing is, they're stored. This
yeah.
is like an air conditioned. Well, I don't know if it's air conditioned,
air conditioned.
but it feels like air. We're in South Florida. It feels nice in here.
It's also winter time.
Yeah, but I mean, it's indoors. They're out of the weather. They're not something that's sitting in a field or in an old car somewhere.
If you need windshield wiper parts, you need shifters. How about shifters? Like I said, everything is here. Lights, light buckets.
And you're not hoarding these. These are just parts
No.
that have been left over or that you picked up so that they would get used by somebody.
I'll bring everything to a swap meet, but as you know, if you're not a Pontiac guy, you see that blue color, you just walk away. If you're a Pontiac guy, you come to me. But we have tons and tons of parts. Most of the time, I won't sell anything until the cars are done because you know, as soon as you sell it,
you're gonna need
you
it.
need it. I have the cable linkage and I have the direct linkage on the shifters. If you don't know what that is, then you don't know what this is. And this is for a shifter that uses rods. Okay, that was the early shifters, 64 and 65, and then mid 65 they went to the cable shifters, which kind of look like this, or more like that.
Oh, okay.
So, you know, they're just different once you figure it out. You need linkage rods, we have tons, we have motors. Oh, what I do have, if anybody's interested, anybody's building an M21 or an M22, I have a full set of gears, including reverse, brand new, that I will not use. But I mean, talk about brand new in the box. It's worth over $1,000. Just make me an offer. As long as it goes to the right home, I could care less.
Cool.
Torque converters, brand new. I have, like I said, tons of bumper parts, shifting parts, and then I have interior parts. All the blue boxes are all GTO stuff, but all the little screws, the little widgets, the little gadgets that you can always use that you can never find.
Oh, nice.
Same thing like headlights or strikers. It's just not just one, but everything is there in case you need them.
I feel so unorganized now in my life.
It's good. Now, there's a 65
All right,
GTO.
so yeah, we're gonna take a little. So we've seen this car, and there's a whole video of this, which is really nice. So we're gonna look at these two cars that he has here. He's got another one that's off site, but this is his garage. So the nice thing is he has a lift. He has actually 2 lifts here. So are they commercial lifts, I guess?
They are.
Yeah.
They're 2 lifts. If any of you guys know Remo, Phoenix Rod and Custom, Remo was good enough to help me install the lifts. That's our storage lift. That's another 1965 hardtop GTO. That we'll get to this one. That's under a convertible frame. So if anybody needs a convertible frame and wants to swap with me, give me a call and I'll swap you out before I rebuild it. This is a convertible. This car's been completely redone.
And you just got this back recently from paint, right?
This just came back from the paint shop. It's a little dusty, but everything has been rebuilt, including the motor, tilt wheel. It's if you want to light.
You got one of the steering wheels there.
We got a wood wheel, but you can see the quarters. Everything is nice and solid. The floors.
Now, was this car pretty solid before, or what was?
This car was nice. It had a horrible paint job. I mean, if you took about a paint job from a 0 to 10, it was a 2.
So it basically had a solid body or a solid foundation.
Oh yeah, the body was in really good shape. And then what we do is that, you know, we try to upgrade the cars so it will have a tilt wheel.
Now, did you get that chromed?
That's a brand new chrome tilt wheel.
Okay, so it comes chrome, so they don't have to worry about getting.
Right, yeah, you can buy them chrome or ready for paint.
And it's got new carpeting in it. It smells.
Brand new underlayment.
You can smell it. New roof.
Well, it doesn't need a new roof. It just needs to get cleaned.
Oh, okay. So
this is a 2-speed automatic, not a 350 or 700R. This is a period correct car, except for the upgrades. It's got all new glass. Mark's Auto Glass put the glass in. It's got a completely rebuilt 326 2-speed automatic. Now I do put the HEIs in, and so I know there are people out there screaming. I'm sorry. No points for me.
It's dependability now.
That's it. I build these things to drive.
Because you build them to drive. This isn't something that somebody's going to put on a trailer, take to a car show, and leave. Well, they might, but I mean, it's not designed just to be trailered somewhere and shown. It's designed to be put on the road and driven.
It's got AC.
Because we're in Florida.
Right. But AC on a convertible is kind of ridiculous. But it has AC. It has a 4-valve Edenbrock 500cc carb. You don't need any more. I'm sure there's anybody. 1-wire alternator, power steering pump. Everything, should work when it's done. This is the Tampa AC unit. It's not a vintage air, but it goes under the dash, and it's actually, in a lot of ways.
What's it connected up to the heater?
No, it comes through where vintage air comes through the wheel well.
Right.
This one comes off right in the side, and it's so much easier to install. I think it might be called Climate Air, but they're out of Tampa, or call Phoenix Rod and Custom, they'll get it for you. But as far as putting the thing in, oh my God, what an easy job. Of course, on the GTO that's in the body shop, I smoothed the firewall, so we're gonna have to use a different type of AC. I'm going to raise this car up,
Okay.
give you an idea of what's going on underneath.
And the reason for the fire trucks, like you said, is you're a retired firefighter, so. And same with the fire helmets? Are they your old helmets?
That's my firehouse.
Wow. When did you leave there?
2020.
So you were there for 9/11. And you got radials on here. You're not running the 2-plies. So. Now, are these actual?
These are true.
Not just period correct, but actual true.
Yeah.
Period.
They're
wheels.
15-inch wheels, so you
Okay.
won't find a 15-inch wheel on a 64 or 65. They came in later in the game, so they are 15-inch wheels. But you need a 15-inch wheel if you're going to put on a disc brake kit. So you
Okay.
have disc brake kits on the front. Every bushing, every bolt, everything has been replaced. So everything is loose now because it's got to go in for to get aligned, and I just try to make them look nice. The muffler system was here. It was all in good shape. The transmission's been completely rebuilt. All the seals, new universals on the drive shaft. You have all new plumbing, lines up, all nickel-plated lines. All new. Same with the emergency brake. It's got rear discs. It's got a posi rear, and it's got rear disc, new springs. All the plumbing, everything is new. Like I said, new gas tank. And we should, when we start this, I'll call Sean after we broke the motor in, but we had a little problem with wiring, so we ordered a brand new wire harness, which we had stock, but I just figured I'd get the right one for the car instead of a universal one. That's this particular car. Now this other car.
Well, now just so the other thing too is because it's something that's going to be driven. You don't have everything under here chromed.
Oh no, that's for the next guy.
Yeah.
I'll bring it to about an 8, and the next guy will probably bring it to a 10.
Right. So somebody who gets it, they have a very easy time.
I sell
It's
everything.
basically taking a new car and then just putting the shiny stuff on when you buy it for a new car from a dealer, kind of.
Well, I'm the kind of guy who likes to work on these things. I'm in here every day. I find joy.
Yeah. Well, that's why you said you were selling it. There's nothing left to do on it.
Unless I lost it.
Unless you start wrecking things to do something on it.
So like I said, we try to stock a lot of parts, and I weld, and I have metal work, and there's nothing I can't do. And then anything I can't do, I have a friend, Remo, Phoenix Rod and Custom.
And you guys have seen we've done all kinds of cars at Remo's. I've talked about his shop. We visited his shop
This is all
earlier.
the stuff I take off of the cars. We're talking about, the front end pieces or so here's more front end pieces. There's nothing I don't have, and we always have a bunch. There's an alternator that I won't use because it's an original alternator. They all work, but we're not set up for that. I keep extra glass. Inside this car is doors. On the top there's dashboards. Inside are trunks. But this will be the next car once this car is done, waiting for the car to come back from a body shop. And you can see in the front of the car, it's just a bunch of parts. But,
right, so it's just waiting to go.
it's all there. And someone started playing with this, but I find a lot of times when you see a painted frame, they say it's rebuilt. So, as you can see, this is a painted frame with rusty bolts. I'll make all this thing brand new. But this is the original disc brake car, which is very rare for 65.
Okay. So it's got.
Yeah, it has the disc brake kit on it already, and doesn't have a posi rear, but we'll rebuild the trailing arms and the whole thing. And normally what I'm doing now is when I get these cars, I put a tubular upper and lower A-arms in. It just makes the car handle so much better, and I'm probably going to start doing the adjustable trailing arms.
Okay, so you're doing the things that basically had Pontiac had back in the day would have probably been on these cars.
Well, not really. Tubular wouldn't do, or adjustable trailing arms. But if you really want to dial a car in with an alignment, if you can do a 4-wheel alignment and actually dial that thing in and get the suspension right, this car will, handle, like a Corvette.
Right. And actually, isn't this has?
This one, these two have the exact same frames.
Okay.
this is a convertible frame. That's what I was saying before. So if you have a convertible with the rotted frame, very popular for the convertibles. I have a really good frame. I'm looking for a hardtop frame. I'll trade you if you want, but I won't sell it. Otherwise, I'll just put a hardtop on a convertible frame, which will make the car crazy beefy, and then you could go put big 455 in it and go nuts.
671 blowers.
Oh
all that
yeah,
fun
absolutely.
Stuff. So, and on the body on this, it looks like it's already been. Did whoever had it before? Did they take it down to the metal?
Things
sort of, kind of.
I never buy anything finished. It has to be beat up a bit, or somebody bought this. The guy who was in Punta Gorda, actually, he bought this. His name was Ron. He wanted out. He said he was working on it a long time, so we helped Ron out, and we bought everything he had.
Is that the original color?
I have no idea.
Or is that filler? I don't even know.
It's body filler.
It's probably body filler.
There?
I don't know.
Sean, your guesses are as good as mine.
I love the grinding.
Yeah.
Like,
well,
oh, that's just to see how deep the filler is.
Yeah. Well, like I said, we wouldn't waste our time with this. We'll just sandblast it.
Right.
But as you can see, the whole car is down to metal, and it's, you know, we're pretty much.
So when you do it, you don't do the bad, like paint over bad. You
No,
take
no,
it,
no,
you
no.
do it the right way and take it down to.
When we're finished with the car, it will be tight. Matter of fact, what I usually do is I have this Rust-Oleum. It's called heavy metal rust preventer. That I will take these cars, I will bring them out into the yard, and then I'll power wash them. If they need to be sandblasted, I'll call the sandblaster in, and then what I'll do is I will take that frame down to metal, and I will do the whole frame with the rust protector, and then I'll do every part. Now I don't know if you can see here, but there's some rust protectors showing underneath the black, and then I paint everything, all the underside parts with black Rust-Oleum.
Okay.
And then when I bring it to the body shop, I put the car together, and then I have him take the nose back off and then paint the insides of the car. But you know, like you see, this thing has a new steering box, new radiator. The motor's been rebuilt, no more than 30 over. And we should...
so you're just, you're making really, really dependable, nice cars.
Trying to make a brand new car. Of course, it's very difficult to... You can't buy a well, you can't buy a Pontiac motor. You just can't. So you have to rebuild them. So, you know, and like I said, in my opinion, 30 over, you stop. Anything over 30 over, you're gonna have overheating problems. But that's your own business. But if you buy a car from me, especially a Pontiac, it will not be anything more than 30 over.
And that's actually kind of good too, because down the road, once it gets really, you know, high mileage stuff, you still have a little room if you ever needed it to.
Well, the bad thing is that there's nobody out there, you know, doing commercial rebuilding of Pontiacs, and then of course the small block Chevy guys, or you know, the stroker guys, or all that.
Right.
I mean, you can go into Jegs and buy a
brand new
motor, you know, for anything. But you know, like an American motor, try to give it good luck. And same thing with Pontiac. Now you can buy parts. We just put pistons in this car, $500.
Wow.
For 30 over pistons. I mean, you know, it's crazy. I don't know if it's the COVID or what.
Yeah.
But this is a really nice car, and hopefully as soon as we get a wiring harness, I should have the car up and running in about 2 days.
And like, so now we just shown, I mean, this thing is solid everywhere. Body solid, frame solid, everything. If there's an issue, you're going to fix it before it ever.
Well, yeah, we wouldn't get this far.
Yeah.
You know, of course, like, you know, I'm not the kind of guy who's going to put brand new blinker lights in, or you know, headlight buckets. I mean, we'll try to put nice stuff in, and if it's garbage, we'll get rid of it. But I might also spend an hour or two and then clean up a headlight and make it work. Like I said, I can rebuild all these stuff.
Yeah. So if there's like a little whatever scratch in here, there's a little scratch in there, and you'll buff it, but
we'll make it look as nice as possible.
Right.
There's not a lot of stainless on this car. I can buff out stainless and stuff. Right. But we try to make them as really high-end drivers as opposed to trailer queen junk.
Yeah, they're not concourse. You're not.
Yeah, it's okay. A kid can sit in my car. You can touch it with your fingers. You're not going to wreck the paint.
If it rains on the way home from the car show, you're not going to freak out.
The windshield wipers should work. And
they're going to actually be on there. They're not even going to be. You're not going to be like, well, we didn't have the correct one, so we just left you without any.
The blinkers will work. Everything will work as opposed to.
Yeah.
And like I said, and if you end up seeing me at a car show and you got a kid with you, feel free to open the door or ask me, and the kid can sit behind the wheel and enjoy himself.
Yeah. And if somebody does buy one from you, they'll be able to drive it home.
Yeah, I've sold a lot of cars, and you know, I have nobody ever calls me up to tell me.
But you don't do this to sell cars. You just because you love cars. We were talking about this when we first met. That's what we sat and talked for a good half hour about just the fact that we like cars. Like you couldn't do this kind of stuff if for money. It's not, number one, time wise, you're not getting paid anywhere near the amount of time.
I'm making about $1 an hour.
Yeah. So this isn't like a business where he's like sitting home pumping these things out. It's a love of cars, and then when he's done with it, you go to the next one because it's kind of like it's like building a think of it like on Model Mondays. I build a model car every week. When it's done, every week.
Neat.
Oh yeah, we do it on camera. So
okay,
every Monday you'll see one put it. So, but like I built that Trans Am. We built that every one I build, and they're detailed. You guys see, we do it, and everybody, you guys say I do well. But I don't touch it. Once it's done, it sits on a shelf, it goes into a box, and it's done. I can't do anything else to it.
It's no fun.
Yeah, and that's what these are. I mean, you drive them because I've seen you at shows.
Oh, everything I build, I drive. They're meant to drive.
Yeah.
If we're getting something ready for Daytona, this was supposed to be ready for Daytona, but the life got in the way.
Yeah.
So we took the Rambler.
And this also isn't like a COVID, what we call COVID cars, where you had nothing to do, so you started doing this. You were doing this well before then.
I've been doing this for a long time.
Yeah.
And, we just try to make really good, dependable, roadworthy cars and try to get our money back out of them, so we could build the next one. But, if you start thinking about the time and hours I have into these cars and then the paint jobs and the other guys I got to deal with, it becomes ridiculous.
Yeah, you can't. This is just a pure love of cars, and the car that you get done pays for the next one. Well, I really so appreciate you bringing us into your little house here, and I sometimes people will invite me out and say, hey, come and then when you show up, they're like, what are you doing here? But you were super friendly, and yesterday we met for the first time, talked for a while. And
if you ever want to play with one of your cars and you need a place to play for a little while, call me and we'll bring the parts. We try to do easy jobs because we don't like people hanging out, and no, I do not charge. I just try to help guys out.
If it's a cool car, you like to work on stuff.
No, my buddies come over. Like I said, we have welders, we have plasma cutter. If you don't know how to use it, I'll help you. And
I will tell you this. Because you've retired down here, and being in South Florida, I'm from up north, you're from up north, I'm from Philly, you're from the New York area. There are such talented people down here that have so much knowledge. You guys have now seen a couple times when we've gone into these, man caves, and they are better set up than some of the garages up north. And there's so much talent here, and the guys, you guys here, they've been doing it their whole life. They're bored. They've done everything they can to their car, so sometimes they're like, hey, we'll help you with yours. It's very easy to find qualified, knowledgeable people here.
A lot of guys you find down here, when you talk to them, say, I'm working on a 1965 car, they're like, oh, I remember when they came off, or that was my first car, my buddy Joe's first car was a 65 convertible. Yeah. So when they start coming here, they know the cars better than I do. Yeah,
well, like the other day, I met a guy, we go to a place called Merchant Crossing, you guys have seen that on the site. And I went up to a guy that had a 55 Ford Fairlane, red and white. I don't know if you've...
Oh, Ken.
And then Ken's like, I'm like, nice car. Ken's like, oh, I got 26 of them up north in New Hampshire. And I'm like, wow, I wish I could go up there. He goes, but you can come to my shop over here in North Fort Myers because I got a shop there I work at.
He comes here, so, and he's real good in electrical.
And
really good.
Like I said, there's no way. I saw this car yesterday. I had no clue that you have, and honestly, the reason I don't show like what people's houses, and you'll see on other websites when people drive, or other YouTube channels when people drive and they show the outside and aerial views and all this. The reason I don't do that here is this place is really a very residential place. A lot of these garages are hidden, but they're also very easily accessed by public, so we don't want to show where things are. We don't want to show where people have their stuff. If you're here, they'll know it. Yeah. It's not hidden, but it's
easy to be invited.
Yeah, people here are very nice.
People uninvited coming at night.
Yeah,
helping themselves.
Yeah, it's not a midnight parts run supplier. Anyway, like I said, thank you so much for having you here, for having us come.
Hopefully, I'll see you tonight at Merchants.
Yeah, I'm going over to. We talked about Remos. I got to go over there And then after that, I'm gonna go to Merchants Crossing. April, should they subscribe to this channel even if they don't like cars today for this one?
Probably just for this one.